tenderly over the library patrons, whispering in their ears. After reading this memoir, I thought again of that scene, because he was in danger in many ways during his life, but something kept him safe. He speaks candidly in the memoir about his mistakes and struggles with his flaws. The Nazis were one tremendous danger he faced, and another threat was his own darkness. But he managed so often to approach the world with kindness, courage, humor, and decency. Maybe angels leaned over him. Miriam Angress, one of Tom's daughters. Chapter 1. Family Life in Berlin, 1920 to 1936. In early 1990, only a few months after the wall came down, and not long after my return from almost 50 years in the United States, I went back for the first time to where the private clinic had stood, at Gentinerstrasse 12, Berlin. I was born in this clinic in June 1920. It was destroyed during the Second World War, and now another building stands in its place. To the right and left and across the street are now large furniture stores, which make Gentinerstrasse look quite different than at the time of my birth. It was strange to see the place where I was born. As a historian, I noted that the clinic had been near Bendlerstrasse, today Stauffenbergstrasse, where everything went wrong on July 20th, 1944, the date of the failed attempt to assassinate Hitler via a bomb in Lieutenant Colonel von Stauffenberg's briefcase. Of 3 brothers, I was the only one born in a hospital. My 2 younger brothers, Fritz Peter, born on April 14, 1923, and Hans Herbert, born on April 14, 1928, were both delivered at home, probably even on the same dining room table. Their common birthday was no accident. My mother thought it would be easier on her through the years to have one birthday party for both sons, so she had her doctor help out a bit. Until she died at age 92, my mother assured me that my childhood was very happy until January 30th, 1933. And if one compares it to the fate of many others, she may have been right. I often perceived things differently, however. As a child, I was occasionally reproached for being reserved, and worse, for not being a family person. This was true, but there were, of course, reasons for it. We were a large, complex family, which often caused confusion in my young mind. Not that the family was in any way exceptional. Like many German Jews at the time, both my parents came from the Jewish petit bourgeoisie of the 19th century that had slowly advanced to solid middle class. Of course, they would have liked to belong to the educated middle class and strove for that position, but my family never reached that goal, partly for financial reasons. School education ended with the 10th grade, 3 years earlier than today, and with no Abitur or final examination. Instead, Germans either finished school with an exam called the Mittlere Reife, or we could volunteer for 1 year of military service. The education of my maternal grandfather, the only one of my grandparents with real intellectual interests, thus also ended at this level. I am the first of my family to have attended a university, but not in Germany, and without having obtained a German high school diploma. This Jewish family in Berlin, very bourgeois, very Prussian, was representative of many other Jews who lived in Berlin during the Weimar era. During the Third Reich, they were all persecuted, driven out, and murdered, under the watching eyes of the educated German middle class that was lucky enough to be Aryan, often approving of what was happening, at the least indifferent, and sometimes participating. For this reason, and not because of any interest in genealogy, I would like to describe my family in more detail here. The name Angress was fairly common in Upper Silesia, especially in the region of Gleiwitz, as I saw in the deportation lists of the National Socialist period. My father said we didn't come from Upper Silesia, however, but rather from either Kleve, near the Dutch border, or Danzig, Gdańsk. He wasn't sure which. As I was able to ascertain later, there was no family by the name of Angress in Kleve.